Sysmon. Learn how to utilize Sysmon to monitor and log your endpoints and environments. I could probably have that 5-minute countdown and done that all meanwhile, right? Introduction. Sysmon, a tool used to monitor and log events on Windows, is commonly used by enterprises as part. I just realized I didn't actually make sure that. Yeah. So TTS is on. Good for YouTube too. There. Hold on. Sysmon, a tool used to monitor and log events on Windows, commonly used by enterprises as part of their monitoring and logging solutions. Part of the Windows sysinternals package, Sysmon is similar to Windows Event Logs with further details and granular control. This room uses a modified version of the blue and ice boxes as well as Sysmon logs. Sorry, can we log in? So it continues. Yeah, so it uses modified versions and Sysmon logs from Whole Live Network Lab. Before complete this room, we recommend the Windows Event Log room, and it's also recommended to complete the blue and ice rooms to an understanding of vulnerabilities present. However, it is not required. So I know I did the blue one at least because it was part of another part. I think it was a very basic one, right? I don't remember. Complete the prerequisites listed above and jump into task 2. So, there was no start box or anything. Okay, so here maybe, yeah. Sysmon overview. I'm just going to start the VPN. From the, I can't type and read at the same time. Trying to speed it up here. So, let's open VPN. Sudo. There. So typing and reading the device at the same time. That's not like really possible to do at the same time. You can try. From the Microsoft Docs, System Monitor Sysmon is a Windows System Service and device driver that, once installed on the system, remains resident across system reboots to monitor and log system activity to the Windows event log. It provides detailed information about process creations, network connections, and changes to the file creation time. Okay. By collecting the events it generates using Windows Event Collection or CM agents, and subsequently analyzing them, can identify malicious or anomalous activities and understand how intruders and malware operate on your network. Sysmon gathers detailed and high-quality logs, as well as event tracing, that assists in identifying anomalies in your environment. Sysmon is most commonly used in conjunction with security information and event management (CM) system, or other log parsing solutions that aggregate, filter, and visualize events. When installed on an endpoint, Sysmon will start early in the Windows process. Okay. In an ideal scenario, the events would be forwarded to a CM for further analysis. However, in this room, we will focus on Sysmon itself and view the events on the endpoint itself with the Windows Event Viewer. Events in Sysmon are stored in Application and Services, Microsoft Windows Sysmon operational. So this might be the first thing we want to add to our logs, right? To our logs, my God. I read logs and I say logs, to our notes. So we have the little blue team thing in my notes. And let's see if we can hop down here. So Sysmon, I do know that I have all the stuff on Sysmon somewhere, but This is probably where it should live. Where it should live. I do want to add something else. Logs from Sysmon are found in. And why the underscores? Oh, okay, so that was some kind of formatting there. So, what is it that I said about? Let's add that too. So, yeah, I think it was earlier, maybe. File creation time. I think this will steal that sentence. And we can modify it when we have more time to. So, Sysmon config overview. Sysmon requires a config file in order to tell the binary how to analyze the events that it is receiving. You can create your own Sysmon config. And also, I know that I have and Siphon's Labs. There's Sysmon in there, of course. And I think I have notes from that. But it might be in a special place where I might not have made notes, actually. We'll see. Those labs are quite short, which is nice. But always you want to experiment some extra, right? You can create your own Sysmon config, or you can download the config. So let's just do config, file, required, and how to analyze the events. So this will help filter normal activity in an environment that will in turn determine the number of events and alerts you will have to manually audit and search through in a CM. On the other hand, there are rules such like Storm Sysmon config fork. Actually, I didn't read the full of this, right? Yeah, I actually skipped the whole section. Yeah, or you can download the config. This is where I was. Here's an example of a high-quality config that works well for identifying anomalies created by anomalies. So it's a bit, I don't know the English word. Syftningsfel in Swedish. You make it talk about something that you didn't mean to. Sysmon configuration file template. So well, let's put this link here. And we can see, of course, that it is Swift on security that made this. Not the problems. So maybe we should say that it's part of the sys internals tools that we worked a lot with yesterday. And I don't know why my phone, yeah, so it's suddenly charging instead of it was just started. I think it's dying. This is my hobby's old phone. Come on, start again. So if I want to switch screens, I'll have to click in OBS. Just dying and having 52% power. Not really good. So let's make a to-do list for me, right? Fix mic. Fix the mic. And then we have fix phone, fix stream phone. There. I can't fix it like, yeah. Maybe we'll open it up and touch power lines instead. Then we don't need a battery. So we have a little project. We can actually do that, but not now. Let's see. Maybe that would have been a better project to get it done. I'm like, yeah, this is where I wanted to click. So, there, let's continue. So we have a config file there. Let's see what it looks like. So this is all the comment. I was like, there's no line comments. Ah, okay, it's a big one. Sysmon schema version 4.5. Hash algorithms. Check relocation. So just a one line. Event filtering, and then we have subtypes, so what do you want to call it in here? Role group. So the room will talk more about this, so we don't have to dig into it yet. But I want to. Includes 29 different types of event ID, all of which can be used within the config to specify how the events should be handled and analyzed. Below, we will go over a few of the most important event IDs and show example of how they are used within config files. When creating or modifying configuration files, you will notice that a majority of rules in Sysmon config will exclude events rather than include events. Okay. This is to help with filtering out normal activity in your environment. That will in turn decrease the number of events and alerts you will have to manually audit and sort through in the CM. On the other hand, there are rule sets like the Ion Storm Sysmon config fork that takes a more proactive approach with this rule set by using a lot of include rules. You may have to modify configuration files to find what approach you prefer. Configuration preferences will vary depending on what SOC team. So prepare to be flexible when the SOC team, assuming, and monitoring. Note. So we will have to run some CM2 to experiment. Note, as there are so many event IDs as analysis, we will only be going for a few of the ones that we think are the most important to understand. Event ID 1, process creation. So, these we might put in the event IDs. And again, I'm going this. I'm thinking we might just grab these. Event ID 1 is process creation. Event will look for any processes that have been created. You can use this to look for suspicious processes or processes with typos that would be considered an anomaly. Now this event will use a command line and image XML tag. So the above code snippet is specifying the event ID to pull from as well as a condition to look for. In this case, it is excluding the SVC host process from the event logs. Okay, so group name, group relation, name nothing, meaning all, or what? Process create, on match exclude, so we're excluding. Command line condition is, yeah, this is very easy and logical, right? So I'm just gonna put uh, extra interesting ones. More all. Yeah, we get them on the right side there too. That looks like a header and it is, right? So this is specific for Sysmon, so that's why I'm not putting it there. It's an example rule, we understand. That's the point. Then event ID 3, and I'll actually copy that because this list here is only the IDs. Network connection event will look for events that occur remotely. This will include files and sources of suspicious binaries as well as open ports. This event will use the image and destination port XML tags. And after looking a lot at the event log and also process tools yesterday, this might be easier to understand. The image, that's actually the name, right? Destination port, name, alert, metasploit. Who keeps 4444 in there when they send stuff? That wasn't a good detection, was it? The web code snippet includes two ways of identifying suspicious network connection activity. Okay, so these are separate. The first will identify files transmitted over open ports. In this case, you're specifically looking for nmap.exe, which will be reflected within the event logs. The second method identifies open ports, and specifically port 4444, which is commonly used with Metasploit. If the condition is met, an event will be created and ideally trigger an alert for the SOC to further investigate. Yeah, it can't like, oh, let's go crazy every time a connection is made over the network on anything, right? So image loaded requires more description here. We'll look for DLLs loaded, contains 10 by processes. I'm thinking of what you'd make of for notes. It's very obvious what they say. So I'm putting DLLs loaded by processes question mark. What does it mean with image loaded? We can search later. Let's Google to the notes. We're not going to do it now. We're going to be focused because we have 50 minutes. Let's also make sure that I can actually see the GAR stream one, because let's have this little tiny thing here. There, I still want to see which screen I am. So, DLL loaded by processes, which is useful for hunting for DLL injection and DLL hijacking. That's fine. It's recommended to exercise caution when using this event ID, as it causes a high system load. But this event will use the image, signed, image loaded, and signature XML tags. So name, or this seems to be for all rules. It just says this. So we're making a new rule, and then image load on match include. So we're including this thing, not excluding it. Image load condition. So image load, let's compare it to its network connect, right? And this is process create. So the type, the exclude or include, and then the exact condition that to exclude or exclude. Logical. So if it's in temp where everybody has write permissions, but it's still odd path. It would usually like be in the path of the program or something for DLL, right? When path. Not a good rule. Though, as far as I know, how can you make it load from temp? I need to learn that in that case. The above code snippet will look for any DLLs that have been loaded within the temp directory. If DLLs are loaded within this directory, it can be considered an anomaly and should be further investigated. Create thread. Create remote thread. Create remote thread event ID will monitor for processes. Let's put this one in the notes too. Just pasting. For process injecting code into other processes. Create remote thread function is useful to legitimate tasks and applications. However, it could be used by malware to hide malicious activity. This event could be used by malware. So I just put this in the notes. I'll have to check all of those. This event will use source image, source image, target image, start address, and start function XML tags. Here's start address, but target image and start function I can't see. So maybe they made it tinier. So I just might be seeing this on this video. This one will use it's a bit late actually, so that's probably why it told us. The above code snippet shows two ways of monitoring for a remote thread. The first method will look at the memory address for specific ending condition, which could be an indicator of cobalt strike. Okay, so this is a specific number, and it also says alert cobalt strike, right? Ends with 0B80. Interesting. The second method will look for injective processes that do not have a parent process. This should be considered an anomaly and require further investigation. So source image contains just the backslash. This is a path, but it doesn't exist. There's no path or root, kind of. But this is Windows, right? It's just all Linux, really. So, event 11, file created. So just putting them all in the list here. This event ID, actually, this one will serve as a good example for a rule. And put it in the Sysmon example rule. Monitor for, of course it's legitimate or wouldn't exist, however could be used, and those are not necessary because it's not even correct, right? And we didn't get any indentation because it is, yeah. So we're going to have to do this and fix the formatting manually. So it can't handle HTML-like syntax, and it indents itself, so the indentation that's already here is too much. There. And let's just do XML. So there, look at the memory location beacon, and let's point those. Look for injected process, do not have parent process. Anomaly. So there. Nice to have the phone working for a little bit. We'll see if it lasts. I'm kind of feeling this is repetitive. I'm not going to make a file right now. And I want more information than these. And we already know how it works now. So let's just read it quickly. So we're checking for file create. For the name of it will be add alert ransomware if it contains help to save files. Okay, we got it. And then we have registry events. And if the name of it is T1484. And if it contains Windows system scripts, malicious activity in the registry. I didn't say anymore. I was curious what T1484 is, but let's not Google it now. Let's zoom on. Most efficient stream ever, right? We've got something done before an hour into the stream. File create stream hash. I didn't actually even copy these to the file. Let's do that. So create file stream hash. Condition ends with .hta. So HTA extends a value in place within an alternate data stream. Nice. DNS event. Event will log all DNS queries and event for analysis. A DNS query condition ends with Microsoft.com. So check that it's actually Microsoft, I'm assuming. Oh, it's an exclude. Yeah, so exclude all the Microsoft stuff because it's lots. Lots and lots. Installing and preparing Sysmon. The installation of Sysmon is fairly straightforward and only requires downloading the binary from the Microsoft website. You can also download all of the system tools with partial command, and also config. It's recommended to use a Sysmon config file along with a Sysmon, as we already read about, just long. Example config we will be using Sysmon files. Yeah, the one we already linked. So they're repeating themselves a lot. You can find Sysmon binary. Yes. So last time I copied the files to the machine and then I realized they were already there. So I'm assuming we'll have the files this time too. So there's actually a PowerShell command called download sysinternal too. Oh well, even that. Though the machines, the servers, the TryHackMe machines, they don't have internet access, right? So to fully utilize Sysmon, you also need to download Sysmon config and create. Well, you just said that, like there, here. Ah, and we're using both as yeah, as well of and stuff. Okay, another one. Sysmon config export. So process create. There's lots of stuff. Now we understand this better, right? Because we've seen tiny examples. They do a lot of different things, and all of these are includes. So these are like problems. So if the command line begins with format, delete, lol bins. Okay, so you're not supposed to use the command line. You can't do anything in the command line, or it will. uh, so my ref to do technique equals. So Word Excel, the text bound of its parent processes and abuse. Detect, not abuse them here. Yeah, I understand they want a short comment. It sounded funny. Sorry, I don't want to complain all the time. Let's see how long it is. So, are there other sections? Yes. Here's process create, excludes, right? So we had includes, which was a rule group, and now we have rule group that's called process create, exclude group. So it's just process create, exclude, and I can double click because it doesn't just select, it just tops it up too. Then I'm assuming we will get a new section. So here this rule group ends. File create time include group. File create time include, file create time exclude. Why all the rule groups? Because you might not want to use all of them, or why? Why not just have a bunch of rules? So this is on the same level in the indentation, which makes me like, why? Is this not the name of this? Is this not a part of this? They do not have an end tag.
Sorry
It
I'm late.
does. Hi, Panda. It's a short stream, so you got here in time. So we have 35 minutes to go. Yeah, so this was interesting. This is Sysmon config. They just don't indent all of them. But the main thing is all indented several steps. Why not skip the indentation here instead? We just decided we don't indent rule groups. Oh well. So we have two sets of, no, here, two sets of rules that were mentioned. Let's put the other one, of course, in the notes too. So, Sysmon config export. And I think I've seen other ones. So it's clicking in my head with other information I've got before. So we're using Sysmon Panda. Starting Sysmon. To start Sysmon, you will want to open a new PowerShell command prompt as an administrator. What was that? It popped up. Well, let's not read the text. It's just amazing. Sysmon exe except li and the configuration. I'm assuming especially since it's configurations, right? And this would be on the machine, but we did start it, but no, I did click start. I'm 100% sure I clicked start. Will we not have the possibility to reconnect to RDP to it? Where's the RDP information? Yeah, it's there. Goody good. It was scaring me. How do you split view? Uh, so I'm just gonna take the opportunity to. This was yesterday's password. Today we got another one. So this one was better. But they're not using administrator, they're using THM analyst. And of course the IP. 143.57 there. So it usually takes some time for it to start. So I want to give it the time. So Sysmon, this is probably where it is, right? We see here the desktop of the user we just logging in as. Tool Sysmon. And we're gonna do this. Oh, I have to accept the certificate. Why do I do anything? So, how are you, Panda? Everything good? Goody good.
Doing okay, just had some lunch, gotta knock some phones out to ship out.
Knock phones out to ship out. Knock some phones out to ship out. It's too late in the day for this advanced logic problem. So the box is off.
Program some phones to ship.
Oh, okay. If I had known what you would do with them, you know. So we have tools, and now we will know if there's configurations. It's here. Yeah. Why make it logical and easy when you can make it unnecessary? We could have just had all the files in one directory. So let's do that. And let's see, can we start a little prompt from here, or do I have to just normally do it? Let's PowerShell, I guess. No, I think they're CMDing. So let's CMD. So it was some time since I typed there. It takes forever sometimes. So Sysmon 64 we have. So let's use that. They're using Sysmon though, so my brain doesn't really like single dash with long, except Eola there, which config. Did I misspell? Yeah. I have to type. And we probably should. No. Configurations. Swift dot XML. Incorrect XML configuration. Okay. So these are, this path we're doing, it's old. It stopped existing in April. So there's a reason for them doing that, that some stuff just doesn't work, right? But just to make sure it's not my changes, and there's actually a reason for having them in different directories. So I'm moving them back into their folders. And running this again, meaning we will cd Sysmon. No.
FixerBot says.
New follower Mathemag1 Kian. Less than
Welcome.
3.
Thank you for the follow. And my fingers want to see ls here. So, oh. So now I know it didn't work, right? Put them back there. So the reason it didn't work was we didn't actually go to the right directory first. So I thought I had. Maybe at the end of a long day you don't do this kind of thing. But of course, when else? When else do it? Started with an important meeting for my kids, and I've been running around outside and ended up with shopping lost. And one of my kids was too tired to. Well, we went to a car accessory shop and ate sausages there first. Ah, so now let's do the same thing I just did before. And we got the same results. Incorrect XML configuration. Oh, yeah, because it's not in configuration, because I moved it. Because I said why put it in different directories. Yeah, configure file validated. You need to launch Sysmon as administrator. Okay, so we have to redo the CMD. Yeah, let's actually look in the taskbar because we might want it again. So All the other ones we've had administrator as the user. Oh, yeah. You know, this is not smart of them. So now we have to go to the user directly. And remember to there instead of ls. Oh, we also have a THM threat. Yeah, let's do that one. CD, that tab. Now tabs work because the folders actually exist. CD tools. Not ls. So let's pull this up so we actually can see the, and we don't have anything in history here because we logged in as a different user. So let's see if we can copy. Yesterday it worked to copy stuff, but only in one direction. We could copy into the box, which is useful. Copy, 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 paste. Whew. First time didn't work, but now. So service Sysmon is already registered. Uninstall Sysmon before reinstalling. But it said I needed to run as administrator. Well, let's continue. They didn't ask us to do this, it's just me testing, you know? And now let's just start and configure with the configuration file. We want to look at event viewer to monitor events. The event log is located under, and we already put this in the notes. So we'll just continue this later if we don't finish it today, which we will not do, right? I have to send a few jumping in Gary's chat to see if there's anyone there yet. So it's not been streamed for a long time. So we're gonna rate him when he hops on. Oh, he's changed the title of the stream already there. We start streaming hopefully. 100% yeah, this is I wanted to confirm this. Application and services logs. Microsoft Windows operation. Sysmon operational, of course, right? So it's the same again. At the time, you can change the configuration file used by uninstalling or updating the current configuration, replacing it with a new configuration. For more information, through the Sysmon help menu. Help menu. Oh, download host files. Well, seriously, did we get it like this now? Well, we have Windows, right? So we can open a log file. Yeah, this looks very good. It's so big that it kills the computer. Let's actually make them a bit bigger. So it is a problem that we have. So So tiny text here, right? So we don't know yet what they want us to do with this. Since most of the normal activity or noise seen in a network is excluded or filtered out with Sysmon, we're able to focus on the meaningful events. This allows us to quickly identify and investigate suspicious activity. When actively monitoring a network, when actively monitoring a network, you will want to use multiple detection techniques simultaneously in an effort to identify threats.
S1YB0RG says, hello, fix it. A little THM
Uh,
today, huh? Nice.
yeah, yeah. So there's this path that actually expired in April, but I'm still in it. So I kind of feel like we were actually doing Active Directory path or stuff in our path, but I had hopped on this one. And this it doesn't exist anymore. Let's hop to it. You can see. And welcome in.